Hello and welcome to another live edition, episode, whatever you want to call it, of Royal Reviewer. Hello, I am here and it is the 9th of May 2022 and I bring you some rather breaking and current news. So, as you know, the state, well you might not know, it's coming up to the time, literally tomorrow, where it is the state opening of Parliament. If you don't know what the state opening of Parliament is, it is basically the renewal of the British political and system with a constitutional monarch as head of state. The monarch, the head of state, opens Parliament for a new period of Parliament. So it's a very, very, very important ceremony. There's lots of pomp and circumstance and carriages and guards and Parliament is involved, and it's really an amazing set piece event. If you haven't seen one already, do go and look for them. They are put up on YouTube, to be quite honest, and they are broadcast live. So there was lots of talk and speculation. Would the Queen be well enough to attend this year's state opening of Parliament? And as we know, we've recently had some previous kind of announcements from the palace basically saying that it's kind of a bonus if the Queen does attend these events. She has been having basically mobility issues due to age. She's still perfectly okay in her mind, there's nothing going on there, but you know, she does have the body of somebody in her mid-90s. Of course, she's just celebrated she's had a birthday in April. She's got her official birthday coming up with Trooping the Colour in her 70th Jubilee year. So she's not doing too badly. Mind-wise, she's perfectly fine. Body, she has mobility issues. So the palace said, we will almost wait until the day before or the day of any events that she is supposed to attend to confirm whether or not she's able to. And we have had confirmation tonight from the palace, so I'm going to read a statement from the palace. It is dated Monday the 9th of May 2022, and it reads, "The Queen continues to experience episodic mobility problems and in consultation with her doctors has reluctantly decided she will not attend the state opening of Parliament tomorrow. At Her Majesty's request and with the agreement of the relevant authorities, the Prince of Wales will read the Queen's speech on Her Majesty's behalf, with the Duke of Cambridge also in attendance." And that is where the correspondence ends. So there's a few things I want to pick up on in there. Let's break it down a little bit. So this is the first time, I mean, they have kind of addressed mobility issues, but they've kind of basically said it's episodic. It's the first time that we have heard the word episodic mobility problems, which basically means she has good days, she has bad days, don't we all? And in particular, people in her age group and younger, to be quite honest, will experience these episodic mobility problems. So that explains why at the service of Thanksgiving for Prince Philip, she wasn't really seen to be having that many issues walking. Of course, she had Prince Andrew guiding her down, but she seemed to be walking quite well. So that was obviously a good day. I think they did have some contingencies in place. I've heard talk about perhaps there was a very discreet wheelchair route planned in case she needed to attend, but she's taken the decision herself not to attend. That's another key point from this statement. Also, with the agreement of the relevant authorities, that means the government. The Prince of Wales will read the Queen's speech on Her Majesty's behalf. Of course, Prince Charles has been deputising a lot recently. Really since 2012, there's been a kind of a soft handover of power to the Prince of Wales, Prince Charles. So he will read the Queen's speech. It's not clear whether he will sit in her chair. In recent years, since Prince Philip obviously passed away, and before that, when he retired, he didn't attend the state opening of Parliament. So Prince Charles and of course Camilla by his side was sat in Philip's seat. So it's unclear whether or not, because obviously the Prince of Wales isn't the monarch, it's not clear whether or not he will take the Queen's seat or he will sit in the kind of consort seat. So also, we don't know at the moment, this might be confirmed later on tonight whether or not Camilla will also attend, as she has done in recent years. But also the Duke of Cambridge is attending. So Prince William is attending, and again, it's unclear whether or not Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge, will also attend in the same capacity that Camilla did to support the Prince of Wales. So we could have a foursome. We could have Charles and Camilla and William and Catherine, but the only two that have actually been confirmed, of course, are the Prince of Wales and the Duke of Cambridge. So we know we're definitely going to get those two. And the reason why we've got both of those is because they are councillors of state, which mean that they can be deputised. they can basically fulfil certain roles and functions that the monarch would usually perform themselves. So as councillors of state, Prince Charles can do it, but there's a rule. There's a rule, people. There has to be two councillors of state in attendance to perform, for one person to perform the duties. So that's why, as two councillors of state, they are coming together for Prince Charles to read the opening of Parliament. Of course, that is a speech prepared by the government of the day. The current government is a Conservative government, so it's a Conservative speech, which basically sets out what they want to do for the next parliamentary session. So definitely William is there as the second Councillor of State. Like I said, we're kind of unsure and unclear whether or not Camilla and the Duchess of Cambridge will attend. Now, I'm thinking it's likely that they might, but of course we'll see. I will be watching and seeing, unless of course it's confirmed overnight. But I'm kind of hoping that it is Charles and Camilla and William and Catherine. It kind of sets out, you know, also what's going to happen and take place further down the line. And, you know, the Queen, I think this is the first time in 50 plus years that the Queen has actually missed a state opening of Parliament. So it is a big deal, and the Queen will have taken this decision with a really heavy heart. She takes her duties so seriously. Yes, it's the first time that she has missed this occasion in 59 years due to mobility issues. I'm going to go and read some questions. So if you do have any questions about this, please do let me know. Also, if you're having any issues, just refresh and hopefully you can still hear and see me. I'm hoping you can still see me. Sometimes we have Wi-Fi issues. Okay, I think I'm back on. So I'm going to go now to some questions. Sterling says, so it'll be Charles on the throne with the Cambridges. Possibly. We still don't know exactly the seating arrangements. Although I'm leaning more towards the fact that if it is four of them, obviously Charles will probably take the Queen's throne with Camilla by his side. Of course, the thrones are slightly different heights. If you haven't noticed, the monarch's throne is just slightly higher, as it should be, of course. Lauren says, I'm very sad to see Her Majesty getting older, as are we all. But it happens. If you're lucky enough, it happens. If you're lucky enough to get there, it happens to us all. And I think she's done remarkably well at the age that she is. I mean, you know, only last year she was still riding a horse. That's quite an achievement, I must say. Book Princess, thank you very much. Lauren, I was about to read your comment and it vanished. Oh, but yes, I suppose it could be the after effect of COVID. Yeah, I think a lot of the older generation who have perhaps been locked up a little bit more during the recent years, you know, it's a case of use it or lose it. So it can affect a lot of people. Laurie says, I'm sure so many wouldn't mind seeing her in a wheelchair in public, guessing she minds. Yes, I think she probably does mind. I think there's been talk of the final public photo of Princess Margaret, her sister, who obviously passed away the same year as the Queen Mother. And she didn't look particularly well in her wheelchair photo. She was kind of pushed out. I think it was the occasion of the Queen Mother's birthday. And I think that photo is said to kind of haunt the Queen a little bit. She doesn't want to be seen in that way. So it's her personal choice. I mean, personally, you know, I've worked with people in wheelchairs. There's nothing wrong with being in a wheelchair. But for her, I guess she has bad connotations because of kind of what happened to Princess Margaret. So there you go. That's it. But it's her choice. A golf cart. Yes, she could get a golf cart. I mean, she still, you know, she was driving up until... I mean, we still don't know if she is driving. I imagine it's a bit difficult with the pedals. But hey, who knows? Lauren would love Her Majesty to reach at least 100. I mean, there's a good job. She could get there. Sterling says, not to sound morbid, but what are the chances that the UK will be in a regency next year? Having said that, long live the Queen. Okay, a regency. I've spoken about a regency many, many times. There are three qualifications, if you like, for there to be a regency. There is a Regency Act. It is an act of law. It's an act of Parliament. And it is quite set in stone. So the first criteria, if you like, is that the monarch has to be absent, i.e. abroad on a foreign tour or something, where they're going to be absent for a long period of time. This typically happened when they used to do long haul travel on ships, or back in Tudor times when they go when they go away to war. That doesn't typically happen as a reason anymore. Usually councillors of state are just left behind to perform those duties whilst the monarch is away on, for example, a foreign tour. The next criteria is ill health. So this is kind of one that the Queen is kind of going towards, but ill health that means that she can't perform any of the actual functions. Attending state opening when you can delegate isn't one of those actual functions. The main function is signing, being able to sign the laws of the Parliament into law. So you take these laws that are being passed to you and you sign it, you give it royal assent, and then it becomes law. If the Queen wasn't able to do that because of ill health, then that potentially could be a reason. The third criteria is the mind. If the mind is not there, if she's declared senile, mad, has dementia, that kind of thing, so that she could not mentally perform those duties, then a regency could be evoked by the Regency Council. For there simply to be a reason of old age, the Regency Act would have to be changed, and that would have to be changed by Parliament. So at the moment, the Queen does not meet any of those criteria. She's still able to receive her red boxes, she's still able to read the papers, she's still able to meet with her Prime Minister of the day, she's still able to sign the laws and give them royal assent to make them the British law. So at the moment, she's fine. So I don't see a regency on the horizon in the short term, anyway. Let's have a look. Southern Bell says, as a disabled person using all methods of walking, crutches and wheelchair, standing in a wheelchair, is the most functional for the Queen. Yeah, but again, I think it just goes to personal choice. Does she want to do that or not? When, you know, she can delegate it, obviously. Oh, by the way, she's had to bring about some new letters patent to do this. So this is something that the Queen had to kind of do in conjunction with the government. So there have been some new letters patent issued for this situation to happen, where Charles can read it and William is there too. If you do have any further questions on this, please do let me know. This is just a quick live chat to bring you this breaking news. Let's have a look. I'm going to go back to some questions before I go. Would the Duchesses wear tiaras? I mean, it is that sort of occasion, so yes. Yes, potentially there could be tiaras on display, which of course I'm not opposed to seeing a tiara blinging away. And I imagine that the imperial state crown will of course be carried on a cushion in front of Charles. I mean, if Charles is not sitting on the throne, there is even a case for the actual crown itself to be placed on a cushion on the monarch's chair. So that is even a situation that we potentially could see. But it will be really, really nice to see William, and hopefully Catherine can attend too. William's role will just be silent. His role will be silent. William will likely sit in the same seat that Charles sits in when he is supporting his mother. Unless, of course, Camilla and Catherine aren't there, in which case I don't know which chairs they're all going to sit in. So, you know, we need to reserve judgment until we actually see the seating arrangements. Yes, tomorrow's state opening will be very, very different. It will be monumental. It will be very historic. So I'm going to leave it now. We have 112 people watching. I hope I've given you all the latest up-to-date news that is actually real. This is not speculation. Everything I've said is true, correct, and accurate as of the time of bringing this to you. So if you've enjoyed this live chat, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media and do hit the bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So from me, mwah, to you all, and goodbye.